So, and that's full, and external rotation, and that's full, so you can check the ranges right away. Okay, let's do external rotation first. So external rotation, drop it just a little bit, and I'm gonna push a little bit here. Hold, 2, 3, good. All right, that's 5. Internal rotation, and drop it just a little. Hold, ready, hold, 2, 3, okay. All right, so I mean, some of these are 5 minus, but that's okay.
Go for 4 plus.
Yeah, right. If I did it twice, it would be a 4 plus, right? Okay, so what else can we do now? I would go ahead and do knee extension, right? Because that's going to be against gravity. All right, so let's do knee extension. Yes, you do want this position where she is nice and stable. So we're going to go ahead and extend the knee, all right? And she's got full range, okay? If she doesn't, if she only goes to here, what's the next step that we have to do? See if she has any more, okay? Because if she does, and say, come on, hold that all the way straight, and it drops, that already gives you a grade, doesn't it? That would be what?
3 minus.
That would be a 3 minus, right? You wouldn't even have to put her in any other position, okay? Because it's not quite there, okay? All right, so go ahead and extend, all right? And then I'm gonna reinforce here. Hold that nice and tight. Ready? Hold, 2, 3, and down. Good. All right. Okay, that's about it, except we can also do dorsiflexion now. Okay, so come out a little bit so your foot's on the floor. We do want to start out in some plantar flexion, so we want that knee somewhat extended, okay? And then we want to do dorsiflexion all the way up, okay? And then we're going to drop a little bit, and this is where your stabilization is going to be. Ready, hold, and 1, 2, 3. Very good. Okay, now that's definitely 5.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's about all. Well, we can do inversion and eversion.
I'm sorry, can I go back to knee
Flexion, extension.
yes.
Okay.
The stabilization, the hand that you stabilize with.
I like to stabilize here. Okay. In other words, keep the thigh down, and you can let her drop a tiny bit. Okay. And then this is where you're going to give the resistance. Not here, here. Okay. All right. I've seen some pictures where they put the leg under here. I don't like that because I don't feel like I can really stabilize the femur that way. So, okay. We can also do inversion and eversion. Okay. So you can scoot out just a little bit. Okay. Go ahead and invert. Okay, like this, and that's definitely full. Okay, you can drop it a tiny bit. Now hold that in. Ready? And 1, 2, 3. That's a 5. Now we're going to do eversion, and sometimes you can allow them to internally rotate a little bit just to get it more against gravity. Okay, evert and hold. Ready? And 1, 2, 3. Okay, my pressure is, remember, against the motion. It's not down, it's against the motion. I could also do that supine if I wanted. Okay, that would be fine because I could still do against gravity that way. Okay, so let's see. We just did flexion. Okay, let's do sideline. Okay, so I'm gonna hold here for abduction. I do want to bend this knee. Okay, and I want her as straight as possible here. Okay, go ahead and lift that leg. Okay. Okay, well, she has a lot, but we want to drop it down here. Okay, now stabilize that pelvis, okay, because the tendency is for them to roll, okay, and the tendency is for the leg to come forward. And I'm going to resist here. Ready? And hold, 2, 3, 5. Minus. Okay, now I'm going to do extension. So we're going to flip this way, okay, and knee straight. Okay, to get all the extensors. Now she has decent range. Go ahead and lift your leg all the way up. Okay, she has decent range. I can use this position. Suppose as soon as she starts to lift, she starts to roll, and when I try to lift, it's stiff. Okay, so how would I change my position? Because, huh?
Sideline.
No, not yet. I want to put it against gravity. Either like more of a bolster. A bolster under here, or put her over a high table. Remember, put her over a table so she can start down here, and then we can have her do, if all she has is 0, okay? Because then this isn't a good way to test, but we can test her this way. Okay, go ahead and extend completely. Ready? Hold, and again, right here. Hold, and 1, 2, 3, 5 minus. Okay, now suppose I wanted to check gluteus maximus versus all the other extensors, which are the hamstrings. What can I do? Flex the knee. Okay, now she may get a cramp when I resist, okay, so you're going to have to be careful of that. Okay, now go ahead and extend with the knee flex. Ready? And you'll notice there's not as much extension this way. Ready? And hold, 2, 3. Okay, 5 minus. Okay, all right, now we want adductor. So now she's on the other side, on the tested leg side. Okay, she's holding. Leg in the front, and this one's got to be nice and straight. And now again, we're not going to have a whole lot of movement. Okay, ready? Lift that leg. Hold that. Ready? And 1, 2, 3. That's a 5. Good. Okay, so we've done all the hip motions. Flexion, extension, adduction, rotation both ways. All right? Knee flexion we want to do. We can keep flex now. Okay. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and say flex, flex, and she'll flex all the way for motion, but we want to put her against gravity for the resistance. So drop it below 90, like this, okay? And we want it fairly straight so we can get all the flexors. I'm going to resist, I'm going to stabilize right here at the proximal thigh, and then here. Ready? Hold it and don't let me push you down. Ready? And hold. 2, 3. Okay, that's a 5. Now, if we wanted to distinguish between the biceps femoris and the medial hamstrings, we would just rotate it slightly. So I would rotate it like this to put the biceps femoris more against gravity, and you would do the same test. And the same thing with the medial, okay, the same way. And that way you could differentiate. If it looked like, as you're doing this test, she starts to rotate one way or the other, okay?
Can you do that with like Remo and vastus medialis and lateral?
Not as much, but a lot of times they will do extension with the knee externally rotated more for vastus medialis, or at least the strengthening exercise. They'll do that way, but you don't do that. Okay. Okay. Now while I'm here, I can do gastroc also. Okay. Now gastroc, we want to do plantar flexion against gravity. Okay, so this is a pretty good position to go against gravity, or here, but generally we don't want to cause active insufficiency, so we're gonna drop it down here. Okay, so go ahead and plantar flex or point those toes towards the ceiling. Okay, now really what you want to look at is you want to see what the heel is doing. Okay, even though we see what the forefoot is doing. Okay, so can you hold that? Okay, now of course she has to have strong enough muscles to hold the leg. Okay. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to resist. Don't let me push your foot forward, okay? Keep it pointed. Ready? And hold, 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 and relax, okay? Now, you cannot tell if it's a 5 in this position. All we can tell that this is a 3, okay? We know that's a 3, and then we know that she can take some resistance, okay? The test for a 5 is a lot of resistance, which means body weight. So we're going to have to get her to stand up. Okay? Hold on a little bit. And the test is one-legged stand. Okay? So one-legged stand all the way up, 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 and down. Okay? Let's do it 5 times at least. 4, 5, and technically you need to do 10 to really get a 5, okay? All right, and this is just for balance, okay? Now, with the 3 or a 3 plus, a lot of times they can get up with both feet, but they can't get up with the 1, okay? And they can start with the 3 plus, they can start to get up, but they're not going to get up very much. So there's kind of a big difference between that 3 plus and a 5, okay? So if they can't make the 10, if they're going to make, 8 or something, you can give them a 5 minus or a 4 plus, okay? And then a 4 is going to be if they can sort of make 3 or 4 or 5. Again, this is single leg, okay? So that's how you get some of those other grades, okay? But most of the time it's going to be, if they can't test, you're going to test them for the 3 first and test to see can they take resistance. And you want to push both ways, okay? If it's just a 3 plus, usually they're not going to be able to tolerate all of that resistance. So you just, it's more of a tough judgment on that one, okay? But that's usually the way that's done. Okay, what are we missing now? We did knee.
So you said that a 4 would be like, they could do a single leg 5 times?
5, 6, yeah, right, because then you want to leave a little room for 4, especially if they're really struggling to make that 10, then you can say 5 minus, okay, for struggling to make the 10. Okay, and let me just show you supine. You can put your head this way. If we wanted to do the ankle supine, okay, we could do the dorsiflexion. All I have to do is bend that knee a little bit, okay, and we can do it right here. And say, go ahead and dorsiflect, pull that, and I can go ahead and give it the resistance, and I can also do the inversion this way, and I can do the exversion this way. Okay, so you can either do it sitting, or you can do it right here. If you want to, you could also put it up on a stool or something, if you want to be in a slightly better position, okay? Okay, so think about, again, what can you do in the sitting position, what can you do in a prone position, because there are multiple things in prone. You're going to have to do extension, you're going to have to do knee flexion in prone. Okay, there's no other way about it. In sitting, you need to do the rotation and you need to do the flexion, and then any modifications. Okay, so that's going to be one rotation. Go through that test so that you're